walk like lions. Good morning, folks. A little late here today. I had to drop the Jeep off this morning for the service, 60K service. So things are going good there. To all my Cav brothers out there, Hua, Gary, Owen, good to see you this Wednesday. Chappie coming to you from Prescott, Arizona. So, folks, September of 1944, there was a little airborne operation, not little, it was huge, Operation Market Garden. And this is one of my favorite battles of World War II to study, folks. It's awesome. A lot of things happened in this battle. It wasn't as successful of an operation that the Allies had planned, but let's just say it had an effect that woke the German forces up as to what we were capable of doing and what we were going to do. The plan in a nutshell, basically, 3 different bridges along a single highway. Okay, drop airborne divisions on each of the bridges to capture the bridges. And then the British 30 Corps was to punch a hole in the enemy lines and move up that highway, cross the final bridge over the Rhine River, and end the war by Christmas. And this is Holland that these guys are jumping into, folks. So you got to understand, it wasn't just, yes, 3 main bridges, but there was tons of bridges that had to be captured, just little objectives. Of course, the larger bridges were the big objectives, primarily the bridge at Arnhem and the bridge at Nijmegen. The bridge down near the 101st area, near Eindhoven, there were several bridges that had to be captured. The Saan Bridge was the primary one here, even though it was smaller than the others. And it was also a daytime operation. So this was a daytime airborne jump. Again, 3 airborne divisions. 101st in the Eindhoven area, 82nd, Nijmegen area, and the prize, Arnhem. The Arnhem Bridge went to the British 1st Airborne Division. And the plan all in itself, in execution on day 1, went smooth as in the fact that bridges in the 82nd and 101st area were captured rather quickly, except for Nijmegen, okay, but all the little bridges were captured, and 30 Corps punched a hole, and then kind of like any plan, it deteriorated from that. Now, we had American ingenuity, being able to react to the problems and fix the problems and adjust on the fly and on the move. Good, solid tactical commanders. The big problem lay in Arnhem. And now the tactical generals, the guys who were actually going to be on the ground, kept trying to we need good intelligence. We need to know what's exactly there. Not only that, is they also were very concerned that the planners kept putting the drop zones, I mean, it was like 7 miles out from the bridge itself. And they were like, no, you got to get us closer. But of course, you know, the big picture, the higher ups were like, well, it's kind of a safety thing. We just can't afford to do that. We just can't do that for you. When in reality, there were several drop zones near the bridge that could have been used and exploited. So we're going to talk about real quick. We're going to go to the British 1st Airborne in Arnhem, because that's going to be our main subject today. Now, all of this is, if you watch the movie A Bridge Too Far, that's the story of Market Garden, okay, folks? And it was also in Band of Brothers, I think it's episode 4, is where you see the 101st in the Eindhoven area and in Holland here. The British 1st Airborne, they landed in their zones, on their drop zones, and immediately began moving into the city. There was 2 coming up from kind of the northwest, and then there was 1 brigade moving in along the river. And in this brigade was a colonel called Johnny Frost. He had a battalion, and they were moving along one of the river roads straight to the bridge. Now, second problem, other than the drop zones. After they had landed and began moving towards the bridge, it suddenly became apparent to the British paratroopers that they had landed on 2 Panzer SS divisions. So this isn't just regular Army Panzer division. This is top-of-the-line German armor. And that was obviously a very big problem. So you have an airborne division, lands on top of 2 Panzer divisions. And it was like, okay, we still got to accomplish the mission. Now, Johnny Frost moved quickly, and he came across relatively light resistance. In fact, he got all the way to the bridge, and he surveyed the bridge, and they began an assault on the bridge and took the Arnhem side of the bridge. Shortly after taking the bridge and his battalions in place, the Panzer divisions have gone into full alert and cut him off from the rest of the division. So as you could see, he's now in trouble. He's now surrounded. He's at the objective. The battle rages. It rages on in Arnhem here. And the key here is for all these British airborne guys is to get the bridge, hold it, because by golly, 30 Corps on its way. The armor, the infantry is moving up the highway slowly, and as it passes through each of the bridge heads from the 101st to 82nd, it's supposed to come and relieve them. It's supposed to take over and finish capturing the bridge, or I should say secure the bridge completely. Well, things kind of slowed down, folks. Moving an entire corps worth of equipment, units up a single highway in Holland, where the ground on either side of the highway is soft, difficult for tanks in some situations, it didn't go quite as planned. It was a lot slower. So Johnny Frost is on this bridge, and they are throwing everything at him. They are throwing just massive counterattacks against his little force there. And his little battalion spreads out around the bridge and digs in. Now they're in buildings. It's urban warfare. They're in buildings, they're hunkered down, and they're doing the best they can to secure that position. So over the course, and all this time, again, the British 1st Airborne Division is trying to punch its way into Arnhem. And eventually the British 1st Airborne just get overwhelmed, and they have to fall back to Oosterbeek. So here they fall back to this little town of Oosterbeek. They're surrounded by armor. Johnny Frost on the bridge, surrounded by armor. He keeps radioing, hey, you guys got to send people, you got to send help. We're here, we got the bridge still. We still have this side of the bridge. Long story short here, folks, basically what happens is they start to whittle down Johnny Frost's men. They continue to hold on to that side of the bridge. It starts to get bad because they really can't get resupply to them. There's a lot of wounded guys. In fact, the German commander stops the fight, calls a ceasefire, meets with Johnny Frost and says, hey, listen, you surrender now. We'll take you. We're not going to hurt you. You surrender. We're gonna get you wounded. We're gonna move out, and that's it. It's done. You'll be a prisoner of war the rest of your army, the war here. But that's an option. If not, we're gonna annihilate you. And Johnny did work out a deal. He said, hey, if you can get my wounded guys, take care of them. And of course, The German commander also had to get all of his wounded out of the area too. That's how intense the fighting was, that they said, wait, stop, there's just too many wounded guys out here. We also need to pull our guys out too. Ceasefire ends, and then kind of like the final assault on Johnny Frost's position starts. And they basically hold out until they run out of ammunition. And there's nothing left to fight with. There's nothing left to fight with. Of course, Johnny Frost is captured, and the bridge, that particular pocket around the bridge, falls. And even then, it was still several days before 30 Corps even got up to the other side of the river there, near Arnhem. So all in all, it according to the movie, it was a bridge too far. Now, granted, a lot of things went wrong. This is not a military analysis show, so we're not going to go into all the little details of possibilities that would have gone wrong. But you got to understand, there's something that Johnny Frost exhibits throughout this whole battle. Well, you know, but Chappie, he never got his objective. He never successfully defended. I mean, not like the guys at Bastogne who were successful. Well, no, he ran out of ammo. He got captured. The thing that Johnny Frost had was he had focus on his objective. He knew the importance of his objective to the point where he fought until all that he could. He gave it every single bit of the fight. And I think that's where we kind of move into our spiritual understanding and our spiritual application here, folks. In life, we see a lot of people will understand what has to happen in Christianity, will understand what has to happen in their ministry, understand what has to happen in their spreading the gospel and showing their Christian witness. And this doesn't have to just be spiritual. They understand what they have to do in life in general. And they understand these objectives, but they don't quite, they lose heart is what they do. They lose heart in what they're doing, and thus they kind of throw things to the side. And I've seen that happen a lot with some ministers that just lose heart. And they're, all right, I'm done, I give up, and they walk away. They don't continue the fight to the very end. And the good thing is, in our Christian walk, if we do continue the fight to the very end, we've got something extra there that helps us. God is on our side, and He helps us get us past that final moment when we're ready to say, I'm done, I can't do it. It's just, Lord, you keep going towards the objective. You keep fighting until the end. All you could do, you give it your best. And that's what Johnny Frost did. He maintained, he could have withdrew at any time. He said, wow, this is just getting crazy. I got 2 Panzer divisions bearing down on me. Let's just sneak out of here, leave the area, fight our way back to the division. No, he said, this objective is primary. It is important. I must stay here and stand on this bridge. We got to understand that as Christians in our own Christian walks, we have to stand up for Christ. We have to stand up for the faith. We have to understand the importance of the objectives. And what's the importance of our objective as Christians? It's Christ. It's showing forth Christ. It's defending the faith. It's these ideas. And God has shown you what you're supposed to do in your life, folks. If He hasn't, sit down and say, Lord, what do you want me to do? What's my mission? What is my objective? And when He does share that with you, grasp onto it. Never lose focus of it and understand its importance. A good example is with being a Christian witness. Folks, God may call you to witness and minister to certain people. And it may be difficult because they may not accept you at first. They may laugh at you at first. And they may just not listen to you at first. But if you understand the importance of saving that soul or helping that soul, it's utter importance. If you fail, if you give up, now God's mercy might bring someone else to touch that person. But you have to understand what's at stake here is that possibly that soul or that life, might not come to know Christ and might spend eternal damnation in the fires of hell, is what I'm getting at here, folks. Understand your objective. Grasp onto it. Hold it. It is of dire importance that we do not give up in what the Lord has called us to do in our lives. Even with weird odds all around us, weird things going on around us. Don't let the stuff around you get you down, folks. I've had some people say, well, we really can't go out and minister because it's not safe to go out and minister. You know what, folks? Go out and touch the lives of others. God's got you in his hands. He's with you the whole way. And then you're lacking strength. What have I always said? Holy Spirit, fill me. Give me the strength. Show me what to do. All right, so we've taken a little extra time here, folks, but it was fun talking a little Operation Market Garden. To give you a quick summary, to the south, the Americans captured all their objectives, had moved up, and actually ended up rescuing the British, what was left of the British 1st Airborne in Oosterbeek. They actually sent boats over and pulled them out in the middle of the night across the river there, and got what was left of the British 1st Airborne out. Johnny Frost went on to be a prisoner of war for a while, and all in all, the operation really did kind of cause Germany to stop and think, wow, these guys can hit us anywhere along this front. We got to be ready for it. If it wasn't for those 2 SS Panzer divisions just kind of actually on kind of a rest and recoupment stage, that bridge would have gone instantly. We would have captured it, war done by Christmas. All right, folks, be strong out there. It's good to see you today. And don't forget, walk like lions.